بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Read the next hadith.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. جابر بن سمرة رضي الله تعالى عنهما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن بين يدي الساعة كذابون فاحذروهم رواه مسلم.
Okay, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. وعن جابر بن سمرة قال سمعت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إن بين يدي الساعة كذابين فاحذروهم. Why it's كذابين? What كذابون? Do you know why? It's a ism of inna. Why is the ism of inna that a jar majroor, a zarf mazroof will never be a ism or a mubtada, will not be the ism of inna or ism of right. It will always be the khabar. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن بين يدي الساعة كذابين فاحذروهم رواه مسلم. Narrated on the authority of Jabir ibn Sabura, he said that I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying that inna, before the final hour there will be kathabin, many liars, many imposters. فاحذروهم, so be careful of them. رواه مسلم. Imam Muslim narrates this particular riwayat. There's another riwayat also that speaks about something similar, but it has some extra words. The extra words in the other riwayat is this here, that before Qiyamah, there's imposters, but remember, I'm the last prophet. So what does that show you? If you put the two riwayats together, what does that show you? If you put the two riwayats together, it shows you that prior to Qiyamah, or rather after Nabi Sallallahu running up to Qiyamah, there will be many, many people that will claim to be prophets. And it happened as such. It started in the time of Nabi Sallallahu. Remember, just to the latter part of the life of Nabi Sallallahu, Nabi Sallallahu didn't have a chance to address them. There was Musaylamatul Kazzab, Tulayha, Aswad Anasi, and then in recent history, we had this Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. He claimed to be a prophet. And then, ironically, if you look, this is interesting, that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he claimed to be a prophet. Then when the people in America saw this, then they said, okay, this people can be a prophet. We can also have a prophet. This the Malcolm X and this Nation of Islam, they believe this guy Elijah Muhammad was also a prophet. They believe he was also a prophet. And so one day when I was having a discussion with this Qadiani, actually, these people that this Nation of Islam, how they got the idea, the Qadiani guys was in a shop and they were going to America, and then they were propagating this belief, we have a prophet. It's just where they saw this and they got this idea. But anyway, I told the guy, look here, you people believe that those of prophets is not close, right? So do you believe now after Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is closed? They say no. Can another prophet come? They say yes. So I asked him, now look, this Nation of Islam, this guy, he carrying prophethood after Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, right? So do you accept him as a prophet? They say no, we don't accept him as a prophet. So I say, why you accept Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as a prophet, but you don't accept this person as a prophet? That is double sentence. When it suits your agenda, then you say that the doors of prophethood is open. That's why Mirza Ghulam Ahmad can be a prophet. And these guys, they learned from you. They learned from you that that you can still meddle and dabble in prophethood. So you don't accept him. So I tell him, if another person comes up tomorrow and he claims prophethood, are you going to accept him? Because according to you, the doors of prophethood is not closed. That is troubling. He is troubling. Anyway, okay, so the last we had, this was now, I was telling you, in the beginning of the 20th century, it was Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and you had this Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad. Then now recently, about 2 weeks ago, this was Fathullah Gulen, he passed away. Now, the people claim, some ulama claim, Allah Ta'ala knows how true is this, that he never openly says a prophet, but he claimed, because he knew if he said openly he's a prophet, nobody will accept. But he claimed he gets messages from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, he gets a type of. So, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and I told you the other hadith is quite clear, it was quite emphatic, that it has these words with it, and added to that, it also has the words that remember, there's no prophet after me. So if anybody come and even they want to come with some fanciful language and say no, he's a like how the Qadianis they say no, Nabi Sallallahu rather Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was a prophet, but he's a really prophet. Really means shadow, like Zillun, as-Sultanu Zillullah fil Ard, So they say no, he's a Zilli prophet. The other place is a Buruzi prophet. All is nonsense. All that is nonsense. That is just opening the doors of fitna. The Quran and the Hadith and the Ijma of the Ummah is emphatic. It is clear. Like I'll give you another thing. I also on this point here, I just want to mention to you, to this Qadiani guy. So I tell him, you see, you're lucky you're not alive in the time of Abu Bakr. Because Abu Bakr was alive, he'd have killed your Mirza Ghulam Muhammad. Was he killed? He said, no, Abu Bakr, they'll never fight with him because he claimed prophethood. He fight with him because those people he fought with because he don't want to pay the zakat. That is why he fought with him. So, so he's making, he's trying to say that Abu Bakr accepted that this was a prophet. So you see how these people, how they play with words. That's why the hadith is clear. And the nice thing about the hadith is that Nabi also mentioned in so many different ways. La Nabiya Ba'di, Ana Khatamun Nabiyin. Many, if one word still has the possibility of interpreted in different. I say I'm the last person. Okay, you're the last person of this class. We're the last person of the teacher. You can interpret it. But Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam expressed these sentiments in so many different ways that there's no room to interpret it. It's clear, it's emphatic. And when something is clear and it's emphatic from Sharia, and then to go against it, what happens? You come out of the fold of Islam. Right? The reason actually why. So this is a very before I move on, I want to just explain on this. So remember, this is one of the cardinal beliefs of Islam. It's proven from the Quran, it's proven from the Sunnah, it's proven from the Ijma, the Sahaba Ikram. If in a Muslim country, if any Muslim country, anybody had to claim prophethood, his head would be taken off. So that's why I tell a guy, you see, you're lucky he was in India. If he was in a Muslim country, but he was a Khalifa, his head would fly, your Mirza's head would fly, your Mirza's head would fly, because under Khalifa, Khilafat al-Bab, Minhaj al-Nubuwah, they would never tolerate a Nabi. So what the point I want to make is this here, it is qat'i dalala. It's clear in its meaning. It's qat'i thubut. There's no doubt in its authenticity. Hence, it forms one of the cornerstones of our faith. It forms one of the cornerstones of our belief that there's no Nabi after Nabi Sallallahu. And anybody who claims Nubuwat or anybody accepts a Nabi and he can come with his fancy terminology of Zilli, Buruzi, Aksi, whatever, all of that will be outrightly rejected. It will not be entertained. It's clear-cut kufr. Right, read the next one.
قال بينما النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يحدث بنساء عادي فقال متى الساعة؟ قال إذا جزئت الأمانة فانتظر الساعة. قال كيف إذا عدها؟ قال إذا رشد الأمر إلى غير أهله الساعة.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Very interesting hadith. Very pertinent hadith. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن أبي هريرة قال بينما النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يحدث. Once whilst Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was speaking, he was speaking to somebody, then a Bedouin came to him. Right? Now Bedouin normally refer to a person from a countryside, right? Person that not maybe so well disciplined, and they are brave enough to ask questions. That's why it comes in a hadith. It comes in the hadith, and Sahaba Ikram, they are so filled in awe of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that many times they were shy to ask questions. They were shy to ask questions, so they would be happy with a simple person that was not shy of Nabi Sallallahu came and he would ask the questions. Sometimes maybe they were shy to ask us, maybe something was on their mind, but they were shy to ask this question, lest maybe they be rebuked, whatever. So a simple person will come and ask the question and they will benefit from it. So in the Ja'a Arabiyun, a person came and he said, Ya Rasulullah, mata sa'a? Like remember that one Sahabi when they asked Nabi, when is the final? I said, ما أعددت لها. What are you worried about? When is the final hour? Like I tell you, like you ask me, when is the exams? I say, what you worried about exams? Did you start preparing? Did you learn? Your job is to learn. No matter when the exam is, you need to prepare. You need to be thorough in your preparation. So, like Nabi Sallallahu said, ما أعددت لها. So this person comes to him, Matasa, قال إذا ضيعت الأمانة, when trust will be destroyed, فانتظر الساعة, then await the final hour. قال كيف إضاعتها يا رسول الله. When you say trust is being destroyed, what do you mean? إذا وصل الأمر إلى غير أهله, when matters are entrusted to unworthy people, فانتظر الساعة, then await the final hour. رواه البخاري. Imam Bukhari narrates this particular riwayat. So remember, we're discussing here the signs of Qiyamah, and in particular, we're supposed to be discussing the Alamat Kubra here, right? Although I told you that in between, you see the Alamat Sughra will also be mentioned, the smaller signs. So when, like I told you, in English, they say when you make an appointment on merit, it means a job is supposed to be given to a person based on his capabilities, on his merit. And in English, you call it meritocracy. What you call it? Meritocracy. Meritocracy means where you have a policy and a culture of putting the best man in the job, irrespective of his race, irrespective of his color, irrespective the best man for the job, so he must be put on a job. And if you look at it, this is actually how the Khilafat is supposed to work. This is the proper way how Khilafat is supposed to work. That you put the best man in the job, irrespective of who he is. And that is why you'll see that after Nabi Sallallahu as Abu Bakr was placed, after Abu Bakr as Umar was placed, after Umar Uthman was placed. So so this is an amana, this is a trust. So now when you, in English they call this, when you appointments are made are based not on the merit of a person, but rather because who he is. Or say they call it in English jobs for pals, or they call it nepotism, right? So when jobs are awarded according to that criterion, then unworthy people come into positions of trust. And when you say unworthy people do not have the necessary skill, people that not have the necessary qualifications, and the result of that, matters only go downward. So yes, um, from an Islamic point of view, religion, taqwa, God fearingness, all of that, it's very, very important. We don't discount it, but at the same time, to be skilled, to be a statesman, that is also very, very important. So I told you that when the one person asked about Umar, tell me about him. لا يخدع. He does not deceive anybody. That means he's a pious person. لا يخدع, and he is not deceived. So what it means? He's the sharp person. He's not a Arabi. He's not a stupid person. So that shows you the point I'm trying to make is Islam also teaches us that when you make an appointment, you must appoint the most skilled person, the person who has the qualifications. Just because a person is maybe pious or is God fearing, whatever, that doesn't mean he's qualified for a position of leadership, or that doesn't mean he's qualified for a leader of trust. You must have statesmanship skills. You must have the ability to lead. You must have administrative skills, etc. Are you with me? So I was telling you that. So when so when appointments are made to people who are not adequately qualified, they don't have the skill, etc. They don't have the skill set in it. Like I told you, there's what is the word I told you, when people are appointed based on merit, then you call it a meritocracy. The best man for the job. Get the best brains on job to do. Get the best brains on board. Get the best brains on board to the job. But when appointments are made not based upon skill and merit, then it's what you call a kakistocracy. What you call it? So where people are, most unworthy people are put into positions of leadership, in positions of trust, then obviously you're going to have a collapse of the government. You're going to have collapse of administration, etc. So Islam teaches us that the Khalifa don't have to be from a particular, be the son of the previous Khalifa. That is kingdom, that is muluk. That, when the father passes away, then the son must take over the Khilafat, etc. like which happened in the Muslim world, in the Ottoman Empire, which happened in the Umayyads, the Abbasids. All this is what it's not khilaf, it is muluk. So where appointments are made based upon skill, that's called khilafat ala minhajin nubuwa. What's it called? Khilafat ala minhajin nubuwa. And where appointments are made upon lineage, this is called muluk, because when the king passes away, then his son takes over. So that is muluk. So Islam speaks about khilafat ala minhajin nubuwa, not about muluk. Anyway, so the hadith say, وَإِذَا أُسْلِ الْأَمْرُ إِلَىٰ غَيْرِ أَهْلِ. When this becomes the predominant feature, that, like I told you, appointments are made in front, not based on skill, but based upon family, being a family, lineage, etc. فَانْتَظِرِ السَّاعَةَ. This is the signs of Qiyamah. Okay, let's carry on to the next hadith, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعنه رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تقوم الساعة حتى يكثر المال ويفيض وحتى يخرج زكاة ماله فلا يجد أحدا يقبلها منه حتى تعود العرب جنة وأنهارا. ومسلم في رواية له قال تبلغ المساكن ثيابا.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وعنه, also on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, said, Rasulullah said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يكثر المال. That the final hour will not come until wealth will be plentiful. In other words, wealth will flow freely. Imagine that. I remember I told you, life in the desert was very, very hard. Life in the desert was very, very hard. It was difficult even to get the basics. And here Sahaba Karam has been told, look here, before Qiyamah, the wealth will flow freely, right? وَيَفِيضُ, and it will flow حَتَّى يُخْرِجَ الرَّجُلُ زَكَاةَ مَالِهِ. A person will want to take out the zakat of his wealth, فَلَا يَجِدُ أَحَدًا يَقْبَلُهَا مِنْهُ, and he will not find anyone that will accept it from him. وَحَتَّى تَعُودَ أَرْضُ الْعَرَبِ, until the lands of the Arab will return muruja wa anhara. You check muruja? Green, lush, and rivers. رواه مسلم. Imam Muslim narrates this here. وفي رواية, another رواية, قال تبلغ المساكين إهابا أو يهابوا. Right. This is a very, very interesting hadith here. Also narrated on the authority of Abu Hurairah. See, he says that Qiyamah will not come until, I tell you, wealth will become abundant and it will flow. Now, like I was telling you, imagine at one stage, Sahaba Ikram didn't have anything to eat. Remember the hadith of in the Battle of Khandaq, when Sahaba Ikram came to show Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that they had laid flat rocks on their stomach to cool the burn of hunger. And the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam opened his kurta, or his upper garment, and he said, look, I got two rocks. There's so many stories. Remember the story of Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala. You'd fall down unconscious and people would think he's mad, but it was hunger. So now imagine so much hunger, so much poverty they're experiencing, and it's being said to them, look here, times of affluence will come, times of luxury will come. Just at this point, there's another hadith which also comes in Mishkaat, Shareef will do it. I'm not sure what Bab it is, but they say when wealth eventually started flowing among the Sahaba Ikram, many Sahaba Ikram, they were hesitant to enjoy it. Why they were hesitant to enjoy it? Just think about this. Think nicely what I'm saying. They were hesitant to enjoy it because they lived a very austere life, a lot of poverty. And the Nabi would always specify them that, look here, don't worry about the poverty of the dunya. For them, is the dunya, for us is the akhirat. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the mindset with which they were nurtured. This is the mindset with which they were grown up with. Then, and what that famous hadith of once the Umar radiallahu ta'ala came at the same time when Nabi Sallallahu had temporarily separated from his wife. He had temporarily separated from his wife, and he was sitting on a mat. In order they call it a chatai. It's a straw mat. So now normally if you sit on that thing with your body, it may leave an imprint upon you. So as Umar radiallahu ta'ala saw this, he was very harsh when he said, Ya Rasulullah, aren't we on haqq? Aren't we on the true religion? Yes. So why do we have to live so simply? Look at the kings of Rome and Persia. And then when Nabi Sallallahu mentioned, he said, aren't you pleased that for them is the dunya and for us is the akhirat? So now the point I'm trying to make is this was the mindset with which they were groomed. Now when the wealth started coming, they felt hesitant that we have been primed, we have been groomed, that luxury will be in the akhirat. It must not be that we start enjoying the luxury of this dunya at the expense of the akhirat. That is why they were hesitant. That's why they were hesitant. I told you, they felt that if we start enjoying this, that we have been groomed, we have been primed, we have been programmed to believe that luxury will be in the akhirat. So if we start, it mustn't be that this must compromise and put our akhirat in jeopardy. Anyway, once the Futuhat started, like I told you, once the Roman Empire fell, the Persian Empire fell, and then North Africa fell, so then wealth started flowing abundantly. So according to some explanations, they say this happened in the time of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when all this that happened in the time was Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when all these Futuhat, when all of these victories took place. So, and another explanation that we done, and in fact it will come, it will come here in the new sabak, also today's sabak, that close to Qiyamah, etc., that will still manifest itself. So there is so much wealth. حتى يخرج الرجل زكاة ماله. A person wants to take out his zakat and give his zakat, فلا يجد أحدا يقبلها. You will not find anyone to accept it, right? Then this is amazing. This thing. وحتى تعود أرض العرب مروجا. You check the word مروجا, eh? Gardens. Now see here, what I want to tell is this is a miracle. Wallahi, this is a miracle. وحتى تعود. It says until the lands of the Arab will return to gardens. Now, look at this. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam living in a desert 1400 years ago, he only sees desert around him. He only sees desert around him. But he's saying that the desert lands, well, he doesn't say it will become gardens, it will return to become gardens. Now, today science is showing us that thousands of years ago, that the deserts were actually grasslands, there was trees and all that type of thing. Nabi Sallallahu didn't have that knowledge. There was no science, there was no biology. Today, modern science is uncovering that those were actually not desert lands. It was what? It was open prairies, lush fields with trees. And here, look at Nabi Sallam's choice of words. So how did he know this? This is a miracle to show you that this is not other than the divine inspiration. You understood the point I'm making? Who could have informed Nabi Sallallahu that this desert land was one day lush open fields where animals graze and animals roam? Now archaeologists, scientists, they're finding all the traces of rivers in the desert. They're finding the traces of different animals that don't reside there, animals that lived on grass, etc. They're finding the proof to show that these were all lush lands before, right? So that is the first miracle, which is Ta'uda. That's the first one. And the second one says Murujan, lush open lands. Just in last week, it was in the news, for the first time in recorded history, that hail fell in the place called Al-Jawf. Al-Jawf is somewhere in Saudi Arabia. For the first time, never in the recorded history was ever proven that hail fell in this place. The whole desert turned into like a beautiful white winterland. So subsequent to these rains, what happens? You see the grass start growing, you see plants start sprouting up, etc. So there it shows you that the signs are starting to manifest itself. The signs are starting to manifest itself. حتى تعود الأرض مروجا وأنهارا, rivulets will be flowing, etc. Then the next part of the hadith, the last part. So actually, yeah, it says Murujan means like grazing lands where animals can graze, lush lands. And now for the last 5 years, there have been a lot of unusual rains by which the desert land are turning into green prairies, green, right? Then this part here, Ihaba, رواه مسلم وفي رواية لو قالت تبلغ المساكن إهابة أو يهاب. Ihab is a city close to Medina. So what it's saying here is that in this part of the hadith, Nabi Sallallahu is predicting the rapid expansion of Medina. That until that once the houses al masakin, once the houses reaches Ihab or you have one of those two places. In other words, then once the in also in English they call it urban sprawl. What do they call it? Urban, SPRAWL, where the cities, because of the increase of the inhabitants, the cities are expanded rapidly. The cities are. So Nabi Sallallahu is saying, although here the author doesn't give any indication to what the modern day name of this would be, maybe we need to check up something or research that maybe look into the other shuruhat. Where is Ihab? What is his modern day location, and have has the habitation or the houses reached these areas or not? So that'd be nice, something nice to research. The author hasn't spoken much about it, but it will give us a good indication to see how close we are to this sign. So something being a sign doesn't mean that Qiyamah is going to be tomorrow or after the day after. Remember, the death of Nabi Sallallahu was also a sign. Remember, this was said, Mauti is the sign of Qiyamah. But how many years since Nabi Sallallahu dead? 1446 years since then. Not 1446 years from Hijri, but maybe minus the 10 years. So 1436 years. So the signs will come, but it doesn't mean, yes, the last part there, that is when it will, like from the Mahdi, etc. That is when it will happen in rapid succession, right? We read the next hadith.
وعن جابر رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يكون في آخر الزمان خليفة يقسم المال ولا يعوده. وفي رواية قال يكون في آخر أمتي خليفة يأتي المال رواه.
Okay, let's look at the next slide. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن جابر قال رسول يكون في آخر الزمان خليفة. There will be in latter times a Khalifa يقسم المال. He will distribute the wealth, right? ولا يعده. But when you like, I come to you come to me and say, give me some money. So I just open my wallet and without hardly counting, I just pull out whatever I come and I give it to you. Why? Because I have a lot of money. But if I've got little money, I'll open my wallet, say, 10 rand here, 20 rand here, here's a 10 rand, here's a 20 rand, because I counted properly, right? You see, I'm saying, why I'm counting it properly? Because I don't want to give you extra. I don't want to give you extra, but if my wallet is full, I just put, it's just my wallet there, just take out what you want there, right? So same thing saying, there'll be so much wealth will be flowing that you won't want to count. You just give without counting. You will just give without counting. They're saying. So في آخر الزمان خليفة يقسم المال ولا يعده. You won't count it, just give like that, right? وفي رواية قال يكون في آخر أمتي خليفة, that in the latter part of my ummah there will be a khalifa يحثي المال حثيا ولا يعد عدا. حتى يحثو, you will give it. You will, it says, you will give in handfuls without counting it. So I told you that this could be, it could refer to we done when we're done in the beginning of the chapter, that in fact there's some interesting hadith that will come also here. We will discuss this also here. When the Mahdi will be identified in Makkah al-Mukarramah by the Abdal, it's mentioned here, he will be identified between the Maqam Ibrahim and the Hajar Aswad, and they will recognize him. And normally people that are desirous for positions, normally they are the most unworthy people generally. For every law, there's an exception. But generally people who are capable, they don't want to take the responsibility because they understand the extent of the responsibility, so they want to shy away from this. That is why the Mahdi also, you want to shy away because this is a big responsibility. So I was telling you, the awliya, the abdal, etc., will recognize him and they will give him bi'at. That's how he will come into this position. He will be the Mahdi, will be a Sayyid. It means he will be from the family of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you will have a stutter. And sometimes when he wants to say something and he is frustrated, the words are not coming out, he will strike his hand on his thigh like that there. So his father's name will be similar to the name of Nabi Sallam's father, Abdullah. His mother will also be Amina. His mannerisms, his ways will be very much like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Yaqsimul Mal here could refer to the Mal Hanimat, the spoils of war. And he will be a very generous person, like Nabi Sallallahu was. So I was telling you, yeah, his Khilafat, remember we discussed this, will be for 9 years. And the majority of this 9 years will be spent in jihad as well. And in the 9th year, this is when as Isa alayhi salam will vanquish and destroy the Dajjal. And then Isa will pass away and the Mahdi will perform the Janazah Namaz of Isa alayhi salam. Okay, let's do another hadith. So a few minutes left.
وعن ابي هريره رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الفرات ان يخلق عن كنز ولا ياخذ منه شيئا متفق عليه.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وعن أبي هريرة narrating the authority of Abu Hurairah رضي الله تعالى عنه said, يوشك الفرات, which is close that the Euphrates, أن يحسوا أن كنزم, it will bring forth. You check the word أن يحسوا, حسا يحسو, same thing there. Huh? To open up, to expose from its treasures, means ذهب, from gold. فَمَنْ حَضَرَ فَلَا يَأْخُذُ مِنْهُ شَيْئًا, and who is present, he will not take anything from it. مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ, there's a مُتَّفَق عَلَيْهِ riwayat. So what this hadith is saying here is this: أَوْشَكَ يُوشِكُ, you remember it's from أَفْعَالِ مُقَارَبَةٍ. That's to show something. Kada, Aushaka, Yushiku. It also normally gets like an ism and a khabar, right? So Yushik is the ism and Masdariya with the fi'l mudhari, there is the khabar, right? That the Euphrates will become dry. I remember there were a couple of years ago, there was actually a clip where this person was showing that the Euphrates is actually becoming dry. A lot of the land that was covered in water is now being exposed. So maybe there are also ancient civilizations that many years ago people were living on the banks of the Euphrates. So you can see their caves, their houses, etc. All as the rivers becoming dry and drier and drier, all of these areas are being exposed, right? So yeah, according to the hadith, that as these areas get exposed, the treasures will be unearthed as well. That means these treasures are covered in water. So yeah, Nabi Sallallahu saying, look at this. فَمَنْ حَضَرَهَا فَلَا يَأْخُذُ مِنْهَا شَيْئًا. That person who is present at this time, he shouldn't take from it. He shouldn't show interest, because these treasures are going to be the cause of a great fitna. That's what the hadith is saying. These treasures are going to be a cause of a great fitna. That is why Nabi's advice, do not be interested in this. It is going to be a full cause of great fitna and fasad. If you look at the next hadith, hadith number 7, it speaks about something else. It speaks about this and something extra also. It says that treasures the size of mountains will come. And people will come with great hope and anticipation that they can enrich themselves from this. But it will result in a deal of great fighting, treachery, double crossing, etc. Only one person will survive in the desire for this. So here the Shareef says maybe we take it in the literal sense that, as I told you, that it is proven that the Euphrates is slowly drying up, and areas that were previously covered in water are now being exposed. But it could be an indication to what we call as the black gold. What is the black gold? The oil. This hadith is saying that as a result of the treasures, there will be a great deal of problems. There will be a great deal of problems. Yeah, the next hadith will say, it will indicate there will be a lot of al-haraj. Many people will be killed. And if you look today, what is the interest of the West in the Middle East? Are they truly concerned about human rights? Were they truly concerned that the people of Iraq are being oppressed under Saddam Hussein? Never. Human rights is the last thing on their agenda. If on their agenda was human rights, they would have been concerned about the 45,000 women and children who was killed in Iraq. So that's not their interest. Their interest is the oil, to secure a steady supply of oil. So you see, there's a great resemblance between Nabi Sallallahu saying that look at these treasures that will be unearthed from the Euphrates, it will be a cause of a great deal of unrest, fighting, wars, killing. And if you look at the oil, this is the main reason all of these unrest is taking place in this reason. So it could be that the oil, the discovery of oil, etc. And remember, before the discovery of oil, the Middle East was a very, very poor country. You'll be surprised that today, if as an Indian or as a Pakistani, if you wear kurta like this here, what I'm wearing, you go there, that people they look down upon you, because you are from India. But 50 years ago, the oil for the lamps in the haram of Makkah and Medina, where did that come from? It came from the rich people of India. It came from the Nawabs of India. Like in previous times before the British came, you would have Nawabs. Nawabs would be like, landowners, people who have large tracts of lands. So 50, 60 years ago, the the cost of the oil for the lamps in the Haram in Makkah and Medina would come from India. And with the discovery of oil, things changed dramatically. Now, the Middle East, wherever there's oil, these are now the richest people in the world. These are the richest people in the world. They have the most amount of cash on their hand. They have the most amount of cash on it, even though they are small countries, but they have large stashes of cash. And this cash is now obviously causing all these problems. So Sia Nabi Sallallahu said, he spoke about this. So we can say, yes, we can say maybe we take it in a literal sense that physically gold will be found. Gold will be found. Or someone must say, no, there's gold here, but these items of value refer to this oil because this is what the whole world is after. They need the oil. So what we're saying is that the landscape dramatically changed after the discovery of oil. This once poor countries, they became now the leaders in the world economy, etc. And obviously, you can see it became the cause of a lot of problems. That's why the Middle East is the hotbed. Remember what the Americans said, even there was no Israel, we have to create an Israel so that we can have our foot in the Middle East, so that we can control the flow of resources, etc., etc. So we could take it in a literal sense, or you could take it in a figurative sense. And another series, the next hadith also speak about afla zakabidiha. Okay, we'll do that tomorrow. That it says that this gold will be like huge columns. It will be large volume. And if you look at it, the oil is also found in large volumes. So that's another point of resemblance. Okay, time is up. We stop there, inshallah. We will continue tomorrow with this, inshallah. We'll switch over to the tafsir now.